Hi, Olivia. We are looking at your illustration from last week, your original photo, and I want everyone to see your image this week. I want to commend you on your progress. It is truly remarkable, the likeness and how well done this is in Illustrator. This is stellar work, and it is. This is kind of your project for this is kind of the bar that everyone needs to look to for their individual projects. In yours last week, we talked about the lines, and we talked about eliminating elements that were not necessary to show off the person's face. You know, filling in an entire lip, an entire neck, this line here, really paying attention to the highlights and making sure everything flows well, and including all of the details for the image. So you did a good job with your drawing, and drawings can only go so far. This, especially with Sharpies, how it just kind of loses color in some spots. But once you take it to a vector, it just becomes this crisp graphic, and you've really done a great job with it. So let's move this one aside and focus on what you have done for this week. So let's see if there's anything we need to change. I'm going to turn off or delete your image you have kind of shaded in the background. That's a great idea to include that, but let me just turn that off for a second and see, because this just little bit of shading really helps it to look great, and when I turn that off, we will see some areas that still could be refined just a little bit. All of that's looking good. Let me actually open up your layers and see how you built this. Okay, you've got everything on one layer, which is fine if you can work that way. Sometimes for me, like, it's easier to take like an eye element and put all of that into one group and do like new layer, and then do all my eyes in that, just like you would do in your Illustrator class. Okay, looks like there might be a little bit of refining you could do around the nostril, just a little bit. It just looks like your path was kind of a little bit crazy there. You may be able to soften up some of your lines around the mouth, but from a distance, it's working out fine, so you don't need to worry about that. It looks just like her. You've done a great job on that. Really, the one area I would work on is this ear and the earring. It's just not it's not as well defined as other elements. Her eyes are gorgeous. But here, I feel like you could give just a little bit more detail of the shape. Here, let me just go ahead and show you what I mean. And let me bring your, yep. Okay. So I'm thinking, it doesn't have to be a lot, but it seems to me that this area might be critical. And again, when I work on these for critiques, I just kind of drop it in real quick, so I know that with the time and attention that you would put on your end project, it'll look a lot better. Let me see how that looks, and then maybe. Oops. Just a little area to help define the ear. Let's zoom out and see how that works. go back in. It's so nice once you all get to the illustrator point, because then I can physically show you what I'm talking about instead of just pointing to it. I can click on the correct areas and help you refine those. Okay, and what I was trying to get at up here is that little kind of flower shape that the earring is. I don't know if you have to go into that much detail. You'll know when you're working on that, but it just seems like the ear really needed just a little bit more, because there truly was plenty of space between the edge of her face and the earring, and without putting any sort of mark there, it looked like it needed something. So I think you can still work on this area, but once you've got this in and kind of tweaked the top of the ear, or the top of the shadow that's part of the ear, then I think that's gonna look better. Everything else is looking great though. So excellent work.